Hello, my dear folks. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow is my name. East West is the show with G&E TV. Right now, with about a year, probably a little more, a few weeks more than a year into the general election of 2016, it looks that we are still not ready yet. And I know still too early, but relatively to the last, when compared to last election, pictures were somehow clearer than it is now. Well, we're looking at a picture which is very confusing to me, that we have on one side, there are people that are very, very questionable and yet getting a very high poll. And on the other side, so lots of people called for one guy to show up. He hasn't signed in yet. So with this, we are unveiling some of the importance with my two dear friends for a long time. On my right-hand side, Mr. Ken Hemming, writer and philosopher, and a CPA for life.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, Mr. Ken Hemming, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack. When I'm with Alan, yourself, and your viewers, I'm in heaven.
All right, very good. And I'm in heaven too. And also one more in heaven, Mr. Alan Diamante, attorney at law. And he's my trustworthy friend, including that I have to rely on him for my personal issues. I don't have many personal issues. Just robbed the bank last night, but you know, they just clear it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Alan Diamante is attorney at law. He is specialized in immigration issues, and also he is also a political commentator. In my eye, very sharp, very determined. So, Alan, welcome to the show too.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to be here with you and with you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
It is almost a tradition to my audience. As long as you see we sit in a pattern like this, we're going to do something like a debate. Hopefully this debate will be friendlier than the last one. Last one was friendly. This one going to be even friendlier. So let's start with the whole thing, all right? Okay, now, I would like to start it by reading a little comment made by the New Times of Florida, Miami New Times. It says, Donald Trump's popularity shows no sign of slipping in Florida. The latest Q poll, which is the Quinnipiac poll, show Trump atop all his GOP rivals among Republican primary voters, with 28% lining up behind him. That is actually a 7% rise since last August. So my question, okay, you heard that, right? And with the given fact, as I read, question is, it is so confusing that on one hand, lots of people, including Republicans themselves, take Trump as an entertainer rather than a politician. Also, as we concluded last time at our show. And on the other hand, his popularity poll keeps on increasing. How come? And, can please?
Sure. Well, I do not take Mr. Trump as an entertainer. I take him as an American.
Okay.
And I take him as a person that's concerned about the future of our country and the trend that it's experiencing right now. And I would just say that on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, many Americans are just tired of, and I'm one of them, of career politicians. I believe that I think we should have term limits on particularly Congress people, because I think they've lost the true feeling of service to the citizenships that they work for, that they serve. And it's nothing like, the honor of serving the people. They are getting drunk on power, Republicans and Democrats. Mm-hmm. And so I don't like power mongers. And we all want to change, and I think political correctness has very little value. I think the only thing that I consider of value is the truth, whatever it is.
In other words, you're saying what shows on the poll with Donald Trump indicates the exact choice of the Republicans.
No, not at all. No. I'm not even talking about him as a Republican. I'm talking about him why he's popular.
Americans.
Yes, by America.
America. Okay, at large.
There's
Americans,
no exact choice.
Americans at large. All right, good.
Yeah, well, because we're tired of career politicians that get nothing done.
I see. And the same question, Alan, you respond?
Well, I'm not sure if Donald Trump is an American because I haven't seen his birth certificate. But I do believe,
He comes one more brother.
I do, but I do believe that it is about entertainment. And I do believe that you have people out there that would vote for somebody just to get an entertainer in a position like being president. And I'll give you an example. In Italy, I think they elected a porno star. Okay, so did they elect a porno star because they thought she would be the best candidate to help the people of Italy? I'm not too sure about that, but it was probably very amusing for the people that did vote for her. Now, whether he's capable, you know, I've been very impressed with Donald Trump because it's my understanding he's only spent $2 million of his own money. It's really, he's capitalized on the media. He has said certain things that gets the media attention, and there's a great value to that. Some have estimated it a value of over $100 million in the media attention he's been receiving. So I must give him credit for that. But whether people are saying that they want him for president for something beyond entertainment purposes, I'm not too sure about that. In the people that have been polled, you know, I'm sure it's a spectrum or a cross-section of the community. And I think he has a lot of his supporters. They're probably people that are not entirely educated.
Let's peel the onion layer by layer, though. Let's confirm from one layer, the layer one, meaning that lots of people, like you started with whole sentence saying that I really think that he is an entertainer. He is entertaining, right? So this saying, quote unquote, does that indicate the majority of Americans? And he says, Donald Trump, no, well, so your take.
I'm far from saying majority of Americans. I'm just saying there's certain people that have been polled that support him, and these are people that claim to be in the GOP. So you know, the GOP has a diverse group. There's people that are very conservative. I would call these guys probably the old school conservatives. And then you have, you know, log cabin conservatives. You have fiscal conservatives. So there is a spectrum of who are people that subscribe or who are members of the GOP or who vote for the GOP. So it's far from saying the majority of Americans. This is just a cross section of the GOP.
Okay, let's expand. Go ahead.
I want to say two things. One, my dear friend Alan referred to the Republicans as uneducated buffoons. Basically, is what you were saying. You said uneducated.
No, I said there's certain people that are polled that I believe could be uneducated, but I'm not saying this about the whole party.
Okay.
Well, and I think there's uneducated all around America as well as educated. Also, I'd like to remind the viewers that my friend Alan has previously called Donald Trump equivalent to Hitler. And that's been said on 2 shows. You've said it.
That's a mischaracterization of what I said.
You said
pay attention to what you say.
Anyway, so there's certainly a strong bias that's been stated before, which I accept because this is America. I love to hear everything.
Okay, now.
But I'm going to tell you one thing is he mentioned the word powermonger. The question is Donald Trump a powermonger? Well, that's that big question.
Well, nothing like the president in the White House right now, who's theoretically power-mongering.
It's quite less important than how we label Donald Trump. It's a different issue, right? And as to the character of this very person, though, you mentioned the term spectrum. If we do look at a spectrum, though, from say, let's say, from white to black, okay, you go all the way through.
Rainbow.
And when you look at a strip, you see a big portion or a small portion or whatever by percentage, if you can figure out by all Americans at large, not all those parties, to indicate how come this poll is this strong, his number is so high. Your take?
I think you know, if we're talking about educated people, and this was regardless of whether they're members of the GOP or they're a Democratic Party. I'm going to say that a lot of them haven't probably decided as of yet.
That's true.
To decide at this point in a poll, a lot of people that are already supporting Donald Trump at this point, when we haven't really heard all the details of his plan, we might be seeing evidence of knee-jerk reactions to some of the comments he has said. you know, what he said about Mexicans, what he says about women. This resonates with a lot of people that are not entirely educated people, and I feel strongly about that.
Oh, okay, okay. And your take on that, about the spectrum, and how big a portion of the supporters that he said to him, to his poll, to boost up the numbers, such a high numbers?
I'll just say that what I said before, that people are tired of career politicians. Many people are tired of political correctness, which has very much fallacy within the statements of ridiculousness that come out often. And he now, I don't think everything he says is the truth, but he says he mans up to what he's thinking.
Okay. You mentioned a very, very good point. Okay, now he says Americans are tired of career politicians. Does that mean a random rebounds?
It is.
Or it is a thoughtful recollection, thoughtful reselection?
This is one of the most unique election processes ever in the history of America, I think, because it's just abnormal.
It's going to be.
It's abnormal.
It's going to be.
Well, it started now, and frankly, I don't put any weight on polls now. We're a year
Alan,
away.
Did you notice difference between, in my question, is a kind of a random rebounds or rational retake?
Well, you know, to echo what my adversary today said.
I'm nobody's adversary.
Okay.
You know, it's Americans are sick of a government that doesn't function properly, and this includes.
I do too.
This includes politicians that make a lot of promises and don't really do anything.
Yeah,
that's right.
And it's evident because we haven't been able to pass any bills in Congress for a long time, and it's been gridlock in Congress, and it's been frustrating for a lot of people. And I think that's on both sides. Now, in addition to that, you know, we might be looking out to outsiders, right? To come in. And we have 3 outsiders in the GOP. And even Bernie Sanders is considered somewhat of an outsider.
We're talking about him later,
Yeah. But they're looking that way. But I believe that most Americans that you know really take their vote seriously want someone who's competent for the job.
Okay.
Just because you're Olympic gold medalist, or just because you had a show on TV, or if you're a surgeon, doesn't necessarily make you qualified to be a leader of the free world.
All right. You want to sum up this section?
Well, I'd say that a tremendous percentage of voters are absolutely unaware of any of the issues, any of the backgrounds, any of the depth. They don't care. You go out and ask people, what's the Constitution? They don't even know anymore. People don't remember what 9/11 is. The millennium is 22 years old. I don't know. Something happened.
Does that exactly apply to the uneducated part? I mean, politically.
They're not studying the issues and making an intellectual decision on who to vote for.
Very good. I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that.
It's blind voting.
I agree with that too, that there are people that are saying who they're supporting without actually making that informed decision. When
that
I say
is a lack of
education.
That is a lack of education. That word applies where exactly the comment about the uneducated Americans.
Uninformed is different than uneducated.
Okay, let's call it for a short break.
I'm equating
when we
the
come
two
back,
for this purpose.
we'll continue
I'm not saying uneducated.
we'll
they didn't
continue
go to
the
college.
same
I'm not referring
subject
to that.
from different angles.
Brilliant people didn't go to college.
Let's call it
Nothing
off
to do
for
with
this segment. All right,
Yes.
we'll
Sorry,
be right
boss.
back.